office, I want to talk a little bit about how we talk to each other. Because we live in a time with lots and lots of conversation, a lot of commentary, a lot of opinion. And when we use our voices, we got to think about kind of how we do that. So I don't think I'm the only one that's engaged in Twitter activism, Facebook fights. Yeah, I know, we all do it, and it's fine. But what we're learning is that when you add an algorithm to that, to keep eyes and attention in that app, on that website, that we get further and further away from it. We go into our little corners, we forget the reality of our neighbors. We get siloed into these corners where our pre-existing opinions are reinforced. It can feel good, it can feel great, because having your opinions reinforced by like-minded people always feels great. Validation is wonderful. But it's not real. And it creates this polarized situation where folks consider any question a threat. And they react the same way our brains have been reacting for a really long time, like, saber-tooth tiger act. Fight, flight, or freeze. Now when your brain does fight, flight, or freeze, it shuts off your higher thinking. You literally lose impulse control. Not a great setup for representative democracy, I don't think. Now add in misinformation and disinformation, and you get a toxic mess, not a discussion. And we're seeing that, aren't we? And why do we engage online if this is what's happening? It feels like the new town square, right? It feels like a place where everybody has an equal chance to weigh in. But when it comes to our democracy, these apps and websites that captivate us and hold our attention, they're ultimately a void we're all shouting into. So what comes out of that is neither productive nor useful. So when it comes to our democracy, we need to think not so much digital, more analog. Now, the research, the articles that you're reading, the endorsements you're looking at online absolutely can be helpful because they can make you an informed voter. You know, in this democracy, your vote is your voice. Your vote is your power. And your vote can literally save democracy. So let's try to worry a little bit less about the online void. Let's use our voices by using our votes to speak our truth. So is that settled? Everyone's gonna vote?
Yeah. Woo!
I'm with you. Okay. Now let's talk about voting access. So we don't all have the same access to the ballot. And why is that? I'm gonna say a big part of the reason is because we hold elections on a weekday that's not a holiday. Also, people work on weekdays a lot of the time. Getting time off work isn't an option for many neighbors. In Pennsylvania, we require a photo ID to vote. Now, many privileged people like myself, I already have a photo ID. I'm lucky enough to do that. But if you don't, you have to make a special trip and you have to pay money you may not have. As a single mom, it's good, right? I can tell you that you face barriers and challenges alone. So I'm asking you to use your voice and your vote, and when you do, check with your neighbors and friends and peers. Do they have an ID? Do they know how to get one? Do they know where to vote? Do they need a ride to the polls? Do they need help researching what's on their ballot after all that reading and articles and endorsements that you read? Help. Now, if you're here today, you may already know how important voting is. So use your knowledge to engage IRL. Have conversations with those around you, because when we yell into the void, our voices are lost. They're drowned out. But when we all vote, we all win.
Woo!
That doesn't mean that we win every issue or every race. Ask me how I know. And voting doesn't automatically fix everything. But it's how we make our big decisions. And we need your voice to make those big decisions. They're not going to be the right decisions without you. So go use your voice, go vote, and go help somebody else vote you. Thank you.